Emma thought she was just refilling coffee when she noticed the little boy struggling with his food. His father looked exhausted, frustrated, clearly overwhelmed. Without thinking, Emma set down her tray and gently helped the child, making him laugh for the first time that day. It was just instinct, the same way she cared for her sick mother at home. What Emma didn't realize was that she was being watched, not by an ordinary customer, but by Daniel Grant, a billionaire who had lost hope in finding someone who could truly care for his disabled son. He'd hired the most expensive caregivers, the best trained professionals, but none of them had made his son smile the way this unknown waitress just did. Emma's simple act of kindness was about to trigger a chain of events that would transform her from a struggling server into something she never imagined. Because when genuine compassion meets unlimited resources, miracles become reality. If you believe that kindness should always be rewarded, please subscribe to our channel. Help us share stories that prove the smallest acts of love can create the biggest changes. The morning rush at Riverside Cafe was particularly chaotic that Tuesday. Emma Martinez wiped sweat from her forehead as she balanced plates while refilling water glasses. At 23, she'd been working double shifts for 8 months straight. Emma wasn't working this hard by choice. Her mother, Rosa, had been diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's the previous year. The medical bills were crushing, and the specialized care facility cost more than Emma made in 2 months. She dropped out of nursing school in her final semester. Most nights, Emma would visit her mother after her shift, watching Rosa struggle to remember her own daughter's name. The financial pressure of keeping her mother in a decent facility was suffocating. Emma had calculated that she'd need to work for years just to catch up on the existing debt. That's when they walked in. A tall man in his late 30s pushed a specialized wheelchair through the doorway. In the chair sat a boy who couldn't have been older than 8, his bright eyes taking in everything around him. Emma noticed several customers glanced at the pair, then quickly looked away. The awkward silence that follows when people don't know how to react to disability settled over nearby tables. Finding a suitable table proved challenging. Most booths were too narrow for the wheelchair. Emma watched the father's frustration build as he searched for somewhere his son could eat comfortably. Without hesitation, Emma approached them. She moved a chair and created space at a corner booth, adjusting the height so the wheelchair fit perfectly. She did this naturally, without making a show of her helpfulness. The child smiled shyly. His father looked surprised by Emma's easy manner. No awkwardness, no pity, just practical kindness. Emma asked the boy his name. Oliver, he said softly. She told him that was a strong name and asked if he'd like to see the kid's menu or if he was more of an adult menu kind of guy. Oliver giggled and requested the adult menu. His father, Daniel, watched this interaction with growing amazement. In the 18 months since his wife's death in a car accident, he'd hired 7 different caregivers for Oliver, all highly trained, but none had connected with his son the way this waitress was doing in 30 seconds. Emma brought menus and noticed Oliver struggling to hold his. Without making it seem like a big deal, she propped it against his wheelchair tray. When Oliver worried about making a mess with his pancakes, Emma leaned in conspiratorially and told him that pancakes were supposed to be messy. That's what made them fun. Emma returned with their food and something special. She'd asked the kitchen to make Oliver's pancakes into shapes. A stack that looked like a teddy bear with blueberries for eyes. Oliver exclaimed with delight. Daniel smiled, the first genuine smile he'd managed in weeks. Emma had accomplished something no expensive caregiver had managed. She'd made his son feel special rather than different. As Oliver ate, Emma checked on them frequently. She brought him a bendy straw when he struggled with his glass, cleaned up spills without comment, and even sat with him during a slow period, listening to him talk about his favorite cartoons. Daniel observed everything. This wasn't just good service. This was genuine care. When they finished eating, Daniel left a $50 tip on a $20 meal. But when Emma saw it, she hurried after them. She told him he'd made a mistake and that it was way too much. Daniel said it wasn't a mistake. Emma shook her head firmly and said she didn't want charity. Most people would have pocketed the money without question. But Emma's honesty impressed Daniel even more. He took the money back and pulled out a business card. He told her if she ever needed anything, to call him. Emma glanced at the card. Daniel Grant, Grant Industries. That evening, Daniel sat in his penthouse office. He couldn't stop thinking about the waitress who treated Oliver like he mattered. For the first time since his wife's death, Daniel felt hope. He called his assistant and requested a background check on Emma Martinez. Within hours, Daniel had Emma's complete story. Single mother at 23, caring for a parent with Alzheimer's, working multiple jobs, dropped out of nursing school due to financial hardship. Outstanding academic record, no criminal history. 3 days later, he returned to Riverside Cafe with Oliver. Daniel approached Emma directly after they'd eaten. He asked if he could speak with her privately. They moved to a quiet corner while Oliver played with a toy. Daniel told her he had a proposition. He wanted her to take care of Oliver full-time. He would pay her more than she made at the cafe, cover her mother's medical expenses, and help her finish nursing school. Emma stared at him, speechless. It sounded impossible, too perfect to be real. She asked why he would choose her since she wasn't a trained caregiver. Daniel told her that was exactly why he wanted her. Oliver had had trained caregivers, but what he needed was someone who saw him as a person first. Someone like her. Emma's mind raced. This could solve all her problems, her mother's care, her education, her financial struggles. But it seemed too incredible to believe. She told him she needed time to think. Daniel said to take all the time she needed. But he added that Oliver hadn't smiled the way he did with her since his mother died. That evening, Emma sat beside her mother's bed. Rosa was having one of her clearer days, and Emma explained the offer. Her mother told her softly that sometimes God sends angels when we need them most. Maybe Emma was this little boy's angel, and maybe he was hers. Emma called Daniel the next morning and told him she accepted. Within a week, Emma's life transformed completely. She moved into a guest apartment on Daniel's estate, began caring for Oliver full-time, and enrolled in nursing school. Her mother was transferred to the finest Alzheimer's care facility in the state. The real transformation was in Oliver. With Emma's patient, loving care, he began to flourish. His physical therapy improved because Emma made it fun. His emotional development soared because someone finally treated him like a normal child who happened to need extra help. Months passed. Emma graduated from nursing school with honors. Daniel offered her a permanent position overseeing a new pediatric care center he was funding. On the 1-year anniversary of their first meeting, Emma and Oliver visited Riverside Cafe together. She ordered him teddy bear pancakes, and they laughed as syrup dripped everywhere. Emma realized that what had started as an act of simple kindness had grown into something much larger, a family forged not by blood, but by love and the willingness to see the best in each other. If this story moves you, if you believe that compassion creates miracles, please like this video and share it with others. Subscribe to support more stories that celebrate the quiet heroes who change lives one small act at a time. Because sometimes the biggest transformations begin with the smallest gestures.